Rant summer is here. Head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. We got all of your summer needs covered. From bathing suits to swim trunks, flip-flops and tote bags, towels, tanks, and muscle shirts. Oh, and you can't forget about the visors and the hats. It's lit. So head on over to AJsRANTroom.com and get your summer poppin'. You won't be disappointed. It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. Happy Friday. Ooh, blessed the Lord that it's Friday. How's everybody doing in these YouTube, Kick, TikTok, not TikTok, all them other streets. Man. How do? It's one of them days. That's why we're 15 minutes late, but we made it. I'm a one-man band, so look, wanted to make sure the show was right, make sure I got it right, and I needed to do a little bit more research, so that's why I'm 15 minutes late, but I'm here. If I had producers, they would have done all this for me, and I could have just sat here pretty at noon, but, it is what it is. I ain't mad at you. It's called building. It's called a process. Anyway, so we talked about this fool yesterday, so we might as well just continue the program and things of that nature. So last night, I was watching Real Time with Prince Blue, Real Time with Prince Blue, my brother, and he played this video montage of Umar that I've never seen before. Like I didn't know, like he literally gets on live streams and just asks for money, like, and then if you don't send enough, he's like demanding more or whatever. I didn't know he did that. That's crazy to me. And it really hit me that okay, sorry. I was trying to catch up on my note there. Why did I choose that pick? That's one of his famous picks. That's one of the picks they use when you see the black man with the snow bunnies. They'd be like Umar walks into the frame with that face. That's like one of his famous picks. Anyway, yes, Lee. Yes, Lee, that is the definition of grifting. And this is what I get accused of all the time. Mind you, I get up at 5 a.m. every day with no guarantee that I'm going to make a dollar. Right. Right. I'm on this. I'm choosing this. Right. I chose this. Right. So I ain't, ain't blaming nobody. I chose this new path professionally. So it's my choice. So I'm not, blaming anybody, but I'm just saying, when you get up 5 a.m. and you basically work 10 hours a day with no guarantee to make a dollar, and you spend hundreds of hours on your merch store, you literally invest hundreds of hours because it's an investment, right? I'm investing, right? Invest hundreds of hours producing content, researching, reading, writing, everything, right? Because I'm the one man band, right? But this mofo can get on here and ask for money, and people will support this. People will support this man no matter what he says, how he says it, even if they don't believe him. That is the mind warp that this man has on the people. That is the mind warp that this man has on the people. That is the mind warp that this man has on the people. But any other kind of black person, AJ, other black conservatives, Republicans, black people who aren't Democrats, black people who aren't involved politically, we get thrown down, beat down, dragged down, not supported, right? Right. And then we say something about it, we playing victim. No, we're not playing victim. We're just pointing out the reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that it's been almost 7 years since Dr. Umar began the scam of collecting money to build a school, and then he chose Wilmington, Delaware, the inner city, the ghetto in Wilmington, Delaware, to build this school. I mean, it's weird. I don't know much about Wilmington, Delaware. I'm sure, whatever. But I never knew that side of him, the super grift. I didn't know there was a super grift. But also, I don't follow him like that. I watch the viral clips. Anyway, watch this.
I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life.
You see, Umar, the problem with the internet is that it's forever, which is why I'm very, very happy that none of this existed when I was 14, 13 years old, because Jesus knows what I would have been sharing. And I'm so grateful. Yes, I'm glad most of the memories, all the debauchery, all of the messiness that I participated in is here. Not out there. So, Umar, we got you.
Hit that Cash App. Let me see who on the Cash App. Where them donations at?
Yeah.
Where them donations at? Hit the Cash App.
Hit that
Where them
cash app.
Cash Apps at, y'all? Ain't nobody came through yet. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Maybe something wrong with the Cash App, because I know y'all gonna send me something. With a Cash App. Okay, there we go. Sister Jenny, $21. Dang. Okay, thank you, Sister Jenny.
Sometimes I get random cash apps. Not very often, but every now and then something just pops up and you're just like, oh, thank you for what, thank you, just whatever. Or, lunch is on me. People do that all the time, right? Sometimes. And I've never once looked at the cash app and was like, oh my God, $10. I'm like, yo, thank you for buying me lunch today. Thank you very much. This motherfucker wants you to pay major bills with the cash apps.
That might have been your last dollar.
The credit card, go make a donation. I got to get this electric on in the high school. I know this is going to cost us at least $100,000 to get this electric done.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
gonna cost us some money, brothers and sisters. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
donate.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers and sisters, give me your grit money. Give me your weave money. Give me your perm money. Your Jordan money. Your Alizé money. Your 40-ounce money. We need the money, brothers and sisters. How about you hit the cash app? They broke the windows, so we got to pay. Brothers and sisters, hit your cash app. $ FDMG school.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They broke the windows in the school. So you don't have insurance? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, why would you need cash apps to fix the windows in the school? Sh- Shouldn't the insurance cover that? This is what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, if I say AJsRANTroom.com, it's like I've opened up the gates to hell or something. But yeah, y'all will still support them.
Hit the cash app, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Sister Avanti. $10 coming on the cash app. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20. But
Could you imagine if I somebody sends me like $10, like say they, whatever, that's all they could spare or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that ain't enough. Next time, send me double. They probably never gonna talk to me again. Probably not support me ever again, and they shouldn't. How dare you be this ungrateful and disrespectful to people? First of all, the community that you're placating to already is at a financial disadvantage. A lot of them, not all, but a lot of them, right? Because the smart blacks who understand financial management and all of that stuff, they're generally not the ones coming out of their pocket throwing random cash apps at you. It's generally not those types, especially when they see how lazy you are. Especially when they see that you're basically ripping off the people, they're not going to come out of their pocket. So this is the average person looking for a little attention on the internet. And oh my God, Dr. Umar said my name. Oh my gosh, Dr. Umar acknowledged me. It's those people generally, right? So it's not the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Not the big dogs. It's never the big dogs. We're going to go out of their way and say, all right, this makes sense. Oh, it's always going to be people who are usually disadvantaged, void of attention, and are grateful if you even just say their names for the $10, and even say you gave the $10 and he demand more, you're still grateful that you were even mentioned. Those are the people you're placating to. And it's unfortunate that people are that gullible and that foolish and will just do whatever, for a shout out, basically. For a shout out, and then a backhanded disrespectful comment following, right? It is just like, bro, I'm working my ass off to make this work, and I am the one being accused of being the bad guy, right? Even by other conservatives, jealous, untalented, fat, usually disgusting conservatives who doesn't have any redeemable personality or talent, generally will hate on me. That's generally the type of conservative that will hate on me, right? Because generally I ain't bothering nobody. I don't care, right? Um, if you sent me $1 inked, I'm gonna be I'm not checking that. Um, I sent Prince $1 yesterday when he put up. Speaking of putting up oh damn, I didn't put up my QR code. Hold on, but let this fool. Is he
thank
done?
you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
I know you barely had that. I know you barely had the money, but I'ma berate you for not sending more. She probably sent you her peanut butter and jelly money. She probably not gonna eat for a whole 2 days because she waiting for her money to drop. But she sent that to you, and you couldn't just thank her and be grateful for the offering. You just couldn't be grateful for the offering. Wow. Anyway, oh, I forgot to do this. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. I'm gonna get my grift on. Where is it? Oh man, hold on. My phone is not on do not disturb. There you go. Now it is. Uh Images. I thought I put it in here. This is what happens when You're a one-man band. You forget the finer details. Where is it? Hopefully I can find the image of the QR code. Um, oh, okay. There it is. Yo, 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 send me your cash apps to start my podcast. I'm starting a podcast. Even though I already got 2 podcasts, but I'm starting a 3rd podcast because I'm just, I need new microphones, I need a new board, all of that stuff. Now I know, yeah, I could just send you to a Amazon page, to my Amazon wish list, but just send me the cash apps. Trust me, bro. I'm gonna go buy the stuff. Just trust me, bro. So drop your cash app, drop me a cash app. I almost said the name of the podcast. I almost said the name. I almost said it. So let me stop before I end up calling somebody out, and they get in their feelings. My profit. Anyway, moving on. All right, so the WNBA, because we love to talk about these people. The players turned down a deal that would have quadrupled their pay from a base of $66,000 to $250,000 minimum. You think, oh, okay, this is a jumping off place. We could start here. This is a good place to start negotiations. You would think that. But for some reason, these people think that there's some well of money that they're not being told about, and they want their piece.
I think we can focus on our players in the union. We got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face.
It was a slap in the face to quadruple their pay. It was a slap in the face to quadruple their pay. It was a slap in the face to quadruple their pay.
And I think we really have to put an emphasis on the players that are in our league right now. But I love to see the league growing. I think, adding these teams in Philly and
So we're going to add 3 teams because they're expanding. So the WNBA is expanding. Congratulations on the expansion. You think that expansion is cheap? Because it's not just playing the players, it's you got to get asses in the seats. So that means advertising dollars, right? So now you got to advertise the WNBA. You got to sell this new product in these 3 cities, right? You got to get fans, right? So that's money. You got to invest money to get money out of this, right? So that's another budget line. Then there's the attire. There's, I don't know where they're going to be playing in these venues, but you have to make the venue unique, right? So the stuff that's on the floor, all the stuff that's in all the branding that's around you, all of that stuff costs money. Securing the venue, paying for the venue, making sure the venue turns a profit, because they ain't gonna let you in there making no money. So there's a lot of other factors, and y'all not considering any of that before y'all said no.
Detroit. Like, that's how amazing is that the league can grow, but how cool would it also be to have like a little bit expansion on the rosters? Like, let's focus on the teams that have everything set up right now, and maybe focus on the teams also that find excuses continuously to lack investment into their players before we focus on adding more to the grain of people that can't really be sustained.
What the fuck did she? What did she just say? What did she just say? So quadrupling. First of all, how many of y'all would love to walk into work today and hear your boss say, "I'm quadrupling your salary"? No, you're not gonna get the little 2% bump every year. We're quadrupling your pay. Not only are we quadrupling your pay, we're pulling from a well that has no water. Right. So how they're gonna make up this money, I don't know. Maybe they got some new budget lines, some new advertising. Maybe they got a few more investors. I don't know. Maybe something good is going on behind the scenes. But to turn down that offer, I mean, what do y'all want LeBron money? Y'all want Steph Curry money? That ain't gonna happen. Not y'all. Caitlin Clark has been in the league what 2 years? This is her second season, I think. So y'all want to leap from deficit, still in a deficit, because you still, even with Caitlin Clark's debut year, y'all were still in a deficit. 40 million. This year, you're probably still going to be, but you're building. It's building. You see it getting there, right? So I would say y'all will probably turn the first profit if y'all continue on this trajectory in maybe 5 seasons, 3 to 5 seasons. You will finally turn a profit. So as the league is doing the work, as the league is building, and now y'all are expanding teams. You're being offered quadruple the salary, and I'm sure the endorsement deals are getting more lucrative because now the league has more attention, right? So now you're getting more lucrative deals if you have the right agents and team. Um, and now we're going to sit back and say, well, that's not enough. We want more. So when they don't offer you anything, or when what do y'all want? 500,000 more dollars? Like I don't know. I don't know. What is it? What is it? Anyway, good luck to y'all pulling money from I don't know where, but y'all will figure it out, I'm sure. And hopefully, and a lot of times what happens with these folks, athletes, entertainers, people in general, right? Lottery winners, is they have no financial management skills. So you get that first big check and you think that's going to be your forever. You're always going to make that amount of money, and you're not. You're not. And so instead of taking that money and planning for the future with that money, y'all decide to go live in the most expensive, ridiculous neighborhood that you could find, blow all your cash, and then you look for the next hit. Instead of living within your means, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's what a lot of people in entertainment, that includes sports, that's where a lot of folks fail. A lot of NFL players are getting a lot smarter about it. WNBA, they're still, coming into money. So now they're just thinking like they're rock stars. Remember a couple weeks ago I shared the one where they were going into the club after the All-Star game, after the WNBA All-Star game, and the bouncer wouldn't let them in. And they were like, "Yo, we was on Sports Illustrated. We was on nobody. If you got to battle rap your resume, you ain't that important. Not a do you know who I am moment." Oh my gosh. But anyway, good luck to y'all. I hope y'all get what you want, and hopefully the league will thrive and flourish and do great things and things of that nature. Anyway, the Kennedy Center honors were announced yesterday by President Trump, and he's actually going to be there. All right. So Trump to host Kennedy Center honors, which will go to Stallone, Gaynor, Kiss, and more. George Strait and Michael Crawford would also receive the award. The annual production may see significant changes under Trump, who revealed the honorees during a visit to the arts complex on Wednesday. President Donald Trump announced the recipients of the 48th Kennedy Center Honors on Wednesday, the first class of honorees since he took over the arts complex this year. And a major change to the ceremony, he'll be the host. Trump is hosting. Speaking from the center's Hall of Nations, Trump revealed the 2025 honorees by unveiling 5 portraits draped in velvet. The group glam metal band Kiss, Broadway and West End star Michael Crawford, country music legend George Strait, actor Sylvester Stallone, and singer Gloria Gaynor. Actor Tom Cruise was offered the honors but declined because of scheduling conflicts, according to several current and former Kennedy Center employees who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to publicly discuss event plans. Now, why are you talking? See, this is why, like they're not gonna figure out who said it. They try to throw us off the scent here with this sentence, right? So they said current and former. So that's where they try to throw you off. We all know that it's former. Former. We all know it's not current. It's former. Before naming the honorees, Trump said he always wanted the award himself, but was, quote, what was never able to get one. What would you give Donald Trump, the Kennedy? Whatever. I waited and waited and waited, and I said, to hell with it. I'll become chairman and I'll give myself an honor. He said, drawing chuckles from a crowd that included Kennedy Center President Richard Grenell, Senator Lindsey Graham, and members of the White House staff. Next year we'll honor Trump. Okay, whatever. The choice may surprise some Trump critics. When Trump took over the Kennedy Center, an overworked joke circulating on social media. Here is political analyst Larry Sabato's version. Can you imagine forthcoming Kennedy Center honors for Lee Greenwood, the Village People, and Kid Rock? Wow, inevitable with Trump as chair. Prepare your stomach. You know what I don't? You know what's so annoying about these people? They know that they don't want to get anywhere near the Trump administration, and then they get mad when Trump doesn't have the A-list roster of people to choose from. So you can't be mad when he can't produce something that you know he has no access to, because very few people on the A list have the balls to show up to something like this, even though many on the A list actually voted for him. Did I say the quiet part out loud? Oh, yeah. So they could sit up here and tout all this hocus pocus, we love Kamala BS all day, but we know damn well that a good chunk of them actually voted for Donald Trump because these are people in the tax bracket where they want to steal more of your money. Yeah. These are the A-listers who make the amount of money that these brokies want to run around here and take more of. So the smart ones actually did the right thing and voted for Donald Trump. Anyway, it certainly seems as if Trump had major plans in store for the honorees. At a board meeting in March, Trump said, quote, we'll go slightly more conservative if you don't mind with some of the people. There are people out there that would not be considered that are much bigger stars than the ones that were being honored. He even suggested offering honors to deceased icons and widening the scope of possible recipients, including athletes, business luminaires, and politicians. I don't know about politicians. I don't think politicians should receive honors for being politicians. You're a public servant. I just feel like that's just I don't know if I like that. But perhaps the most surprising thing about Trump's class of honorees is how comfortably it fits with those that came before it. A-list actor, check. Aging rock band, check. Broadway star, check. Trump said he was very involved in selecting the 2025 honorees and turned down names he didn't approve of. I would say I was about 98% involved. They all went through me, he said. I had a couple of wokesters. Now we have great people. This is very different than it used to be. Very different. Not all of the artists have supported Trump, including the face, that is, the tongue of Kiss. Bassist Gene Simmons, whom Trump fired during the first season of The Celebrity Apprentice, backed Trump during his first term, but soon changed his tune. Yeah. We don't care. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to Gloria Gaynor because I do want to expand upon her because the people are mad because she's, of course, surprise, she's the only black person here. Gaynor, a Grammy Award winning singer from New Jersey, rose to fame during the disco era of the 1970s. While she isn't known to be political, her hit song I Will Survive has become an anthem for marginalized groups, particularly within the LGBTQ plus community, and was named to the Library of Congress National Recording Registry in 2015. So here are the boneheads. So now, of course, I knew this was coming. I predicted it. I said, as soon as I saw the list, I said, they're going to be upset. They're going to be upset that this, I think she's 81 years old. Um, I'll correct myself if I'm not, but I believe she's 81 years old. So this is a elder. This is an icon. This is a person who has done the work and she's earned this honor, right? I think what we've lost in this cult in this climate is we've lost the ability, despite whether you voted for someone or not, we've lost the ability to respect the office of the presidency, right? Regardless of who's in the presidency. Like Nelly said, rapper Nelly, when he said, look, when they tried to bait him on what's the hip hop show the Jews host, those Jewish boys, the Jew Ebro and whatever, Jews. So here are these Jews, cosplaying as black men, asking a black man about performing for the president. And he was basically like, it's about honoring the office. And we've lost that. We have lost it. Do you think everybody that performed for the Biden administration voted for Joe Biden? No. You know how many times we've seen Aretha Franklin perform for every president, regardless of party, except Trump. So that's where we lost it. It doesn't matter about the Democrat Republican thing. It's about respecting the office of the president. And we've lost that. We lost it, because we're so emotional and stupid, largely because of social media, that we would rather cut off our nose to spite our faces because God forbid you've earned an honor and the person who happens to be in office is somebody who you didn't vote for or don't agree with on certain issues. But when you exacerbate everything that this person does and makes it seem like it's the end of the world every time they make a move or make a decision you don't like, yeah, that's what you get. But anyway, so here's this Fugazi. Time to boycott Gloria Gaynor, who gains a lifetime of living off the LGBT community. If she does not decline this invitation, Trump to host Kennedy Center Honors, I will survive. No, she won't. Y'all don't own people. Now, I know y'all are Democrats and y'all are used to owning people like you owned my ancestors, but you don't own people. And a lot of these people who perform at these pride parades, they're not Democrats. They don't always vote Democrat. And I promised you a good chunk of them voted for Trump. Just because someone is an icon for your community doesn't mean you're going to vote like them, you're going to think like them, they're going to live like you. Doesn't matter. She could sing I Will Survive and go to the most Holy Ghost fired out church on Sunday, keeping her grounded, and then go do her job, make her money, and then go back to the church that's keeping her grounded and moisturized and well lit at 81 years old. This whole notion that because someone's a gay icon that they accept all of your ways is ridiculous. And answer this question for me. Are you more than who you sleep with? Are you anything? Do you have a personality and identity and existence beyond who you choose to sleep with? Because it always seems like it falls along those lines. It's race, it's sexuality, it's political preference. And so if someone is one of your icons, mind you, she's an elder at this point. She's an elder. She is to be respected, period. She has done nothing but entertain people and mind her business. That's it. She has been singing I Will Survive since whenever it came out and has made a great living off of it. And I don't understand why we think because we support somebody, we own them. And that goes for both sides politically. You don't own people. They're not your property. They're not your pets. You can't weave in and out of of uh of liking and disliking them just because you don't agree with something. People are going to do things you don't agree with. That's it. That's just the reality of the world. And if you think you're going to agree with somebody 100% of the time, you are stupid. And speaking of stupid, well, actually, we'll be right back to talk about stupid. Be back. All right. So America has a black Democrat mayor problem. And this all started for me yesterday when I did the segment on Brandon Johnson, who's the mayor of Chicago, and his stupid response to Donald Trump critiquing him. First of all, his approval rating is in the toilet. His approval rating, Brandon Johnson's approval rating is in the single digits among the people of Chicago. And you want us to be convinced that because you're black, that first of all, you naturally have some high intellect because nobody naturally has high intellect, right? We all receive information differently, regardless of race. It's all an individual thing. But number two, I made it very clear in that segment that you are not a black intellectual. You're not. You have run the city of Chicago into the ground. Y'all are on because the only reason why Chicago has not filed for bankruptcy because there are provisions in the Illinois state law that is preventing it. Other than that, y'all would have filed for bankruptcy already because there's no more taxes you can impose on the people to try to raise capital. There's no other begging. You can't take out any more loans. And the problem with that is if you do file for bankruptcy, that's going to jeopardize all of those future opportunities for the city of Chicago to borrow money. Chicago, and I'm not this didn't start with Brandon Johnson, but Brandon Johnson is not the person, like I said yesterday, with the talent or the skill set or the leadership ability to make this shift. He doesn't have it. You ain't got it. So when Donald Trump gets up on stage and is very, very clear that what's going on here is ridiculous, it's absurd, and it needs to be rectified, and you have mayors spazzing out, making this about race, making this about everything but the actual issue, that's where we fall short, people. And the only reason why I'm calling out black mayors is because y'all are the ones crying race, because Donald Trump has called y'all out for failing. You are failing. You are failing, not all, but enough. And especially the ones he's targeting. And he's not targeting you because you're black. He's targeting you because you're inept. He's targeting you because you don't have it. You don't have the balls to stand up to the establishment. Every one of y'all, Democrats, every one of y'all owned by the Democrat machine. And I've said this a billion times, and I'll say it a billion times more. If you cannot change your mind and go against the system without the system trying to railroad you, you don't have any power. You're not really in control here. Ergo, New York City Mayor Eric Adams. He told the line for the first couple of years as mayor, and then he did one thing. He critiqued President Biden on the illegal immigration problem. All of a sudden, he's indicted. Now, would he have been indicted if he had just shut the hell up and went along with this whole sanctuary city thing and didn't complain about the budget and the money? No, there would have been no indictments. We all know that. We all know these indictments were politically motivated because he wasn't towing the line and being the good black Negro that we needed him to be. How dare you speak up and tell the truth? How dare you expose the truth? How dare you critique how we want to go about this? But nobody calls out that dementia monkey for, well, it wasn't really him, but the people in charge for staging that whole railroadment of him after he critiqued, which then ultimately led to him leaving the Democrat Party. That's what I'm talking about, people. Nobody ever wants to have those conversations. You know why? because it takes balls to have those conversations. It takes courage to have those conversations. It takes a bombastic leader to have those conversations. And all of these black pawns that are being placed in these positions, they're not going to stand up against the system. They're going to go in there and do what the hell they're told. Here's Trump critiquing some of the mayors.
New York in a little while. Let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's see. It's going to go pretty quickly. And if we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent.
Facts.
He's an incompetent man.
Facts.
And we have an incompetent governor there. Pritzker's an incompetent. His family threw him out of the business, and he ran for governor. And now I understand he wants to be president. But I noticed he lost a little weight, so maybe he has a chance. You know, you never know what happens. But Pritzker's a gross incompetent guy, thrown out of the family business. But when I look at Chicago and I look at L.A., if we didn't go to L.A. 3 months ago, L.A. would be burning like the part that didn't burn. If you would have allowed the water to come down, which I told him about in my first term, I said,
by the way, speaking of the water in the Pacific Palisades, do you know they are charging homeowners there $900 something to replace or repair the fire hydrants? Yes. The same fire hydrants that were either in disrepair or empty. Yeah. Those same fire hydrants. They're charging people. They're charging the residents who were depending on you, who were already paying the taxes, thinking that the fire chief and the fire department and the mayor, who that all goes to the mayor, thinking that y'all had it together, only to find out there was no water or they were broken. So you have firefighters with no water. That's like a sushi, a person who serves sushi with no fish. What are we doing here? Like, this is stupid. Y'all should have known this before disaster struck. So either you set up the people in Pacific Palisades to fail, or you're just really that dumb. And I'm gonna go with it was probably a combination of both, because you were busy trying to hire people because they were gay, or because they were black, or because they were black and gay, or because they were black, gay, and non-binary, or whatever the hell. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to fill quotas and not put the right people in place. And this is the issue. Are there competent black people who could be mayors of these cities? Abso-freaking-lutely. Why don't you choose those black people? Because you can't control them. That's why. That's why they don't choose the black people they can't control. Now, the one mayor I will give a little smidge of credit to is the mayor of Washington, D.C. The problem with her, though, is she totes the line because she can't fully stand with Trump, because that won't work, because the Negroes won't like it. You know, the black boule won't like it. You know, the black elites, the black celebrities, the destitute blacks who support her won't accept that fully. So she walks this fine line of, well, there is a problem, but it's not really that bad of a problem for the president to come in. Instead of thanking the president, because you know that you have over 800 vacancies in your police department, and the president just came in and filled all 800 vacancies with the National Guard to help you out. Literally to help you out. And instead of you back him up completely, like with no BS, no, oh, maybe shoulda, coulda, woulda, kind of, sorta, woulda. No, for real. Like, fully be like, yeah, we needed this. We appreciate this, Mr. President, because we have been asking for these resources for years. And when you have a discrepancy in your department that big, and then you're sitting here at the other side of your mouth telling me crime is down 30%, I'm already giving you side eye. Crime is down 30% because people aren't reporting the crimes. They've given up. Just mug me. Just take everything I've earned at this point. Why even bother? But here's I believe this is a UPS worker, and he's given us a bit of an update on the city since Trump took over.
Man, down the city is quiet as a church mouse, man. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, yeah. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here. You can see now I'm at the White House jump, man. It's quiet, yeah. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah.
Facts.
Because that's what it feels like, yeah. You gotta be babysitter to do your job, yeah. Stuff been out of control for years.
Facts.
You gotta do better, yeah. You gotta do better, yeah. And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, yeah. We'll see how long this lasts, yeah. How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it last night? Talk to me.
Where's he lying? Where is he lying? And he's around the city. He's a UPS worker. So he's all over the city. He sees the great parts, the terrible parts. He knows where to lock the truck up when he goes in for a delivery. He knows where he can leave the truck open, right? He knows all of that. So this is a person whose word you should trust, not some BS stats talking about crime is down 35%. When the citizens are literally saying that's BS. That's complete hogwash. Crime is not down 35%. Crime is terrible. It's out of control. So you can sit up here and tout your little stats and try to dance around the issue. But the point is, this is a shithole. And this didn't become a shithole under the current mayor. But the current mayor didn't do her due diligence to make sure law and order was enforced. Because if you hired, say, Byron Donalds to run Washington, D.C., you would have a totally different outcome. I promise you. If you hire a black Republican to run these major cities, I promise you, you will see a change swiftly. And I don't mean a rhino Republican, a real bombastic law and order Republican. Sort of like the way Giuliani did in New York. Got in there and cleaned it up. Got in there and pushed the smut to the fringes of the city. Because the smut has to be there in a small way, but when it's constantly entrenched with all the good stuff, yeah, it kind of ruins the good time and the vibes, right? It just ruins the vibe check, right? You need a bombastic person in there. Now, if she had gotten in there and just said, "Look, yeah, I'm a Democrat, but I got to get this has to be worked out." She can't do that. You know why? Because she's owned by Democrats. They have her voice. I'd say they have her by the balls, but this is 2025, so you can probably say that about a woman. And it's sad. It's unfortunate. It's very, very, very unfortunate that we've gotten to this place where we can't even do our jobs without the threat of the party throwing us in jail because they're holding this little stupid misdemeanor bullshit over our head that everybody else is doing. But if you go out of line, I'm taking you down.
And y'all keep on posting all these data numbers and things of that nature that y'all see everybody else reposting. The stuff that came from the Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor, yeah. Let me tell you something, yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Let me tell
Go
you
ahead.
something.
Say it.
You can't be that stupid. You can't be, man.
Thank you.
Who enters that information to get that data analysis, yeah? People do. You can enter whatever numbers you want to make whatever report show what, but you can't hide the crime, young. You can't do it.
Facts.
Let me give you something to break it down to you for those that don't understand. I retired from UPS, right? So what they used to do to play with the numbers or whatever, we have mission packages. You'll have drivers over the hours. They'd go in and enter the information and the report would show whatever they needed to show to keep their bonus that week for their bosses not to fire their ass. So stop believing that stuff.
Boom. Everything he just said. Everything he just said. If you are touting these stats like they're facts, you're an idiot. If you are touting these stats like they somehow debunked the Trump administration, who knows what the real numbers are? They know what the real numbers are because they went and got the real numbers. So all of this crime is down BS, it's not down. What you never banked on, and I don't know why, it's now 2025. We've been in this internet thing for a while now, is that people getting online saying, "No, these stats are flawed. They're wrong. They're flat out lies." You didn't bank on that. You thought most people were going to go along to get along and just say, "Yeah, Trump administration is wrong." No, Trump is well within his executive privilege. But it's the big bad orange man in the White House. It's not your incompetent mayor and then the past incompetent mayors, all of whom were Democrats. America has a black Democrat mayor problem. Until we go about changing it, it's never going to get better. But I'm just AJ. Why listen to me? But here's another incompetent one. This is the mayor of Oakland, flapping her gums.
But let me just say also, it's not lost on anyone that the cities that he is calling out, first of all, have large numbers of Black and brown people. Secondly, the crime rate is going down. And
Y'all need to abandon that argument. Y'all need to abandon that argument like last week. Ma'am, your city is a shithole. Los Angeles is a shithole. Washington, D.C. is a shithole. Baltimore is a shithole. Las Vegas is a shithole. Houston is a shithole. Dallas is a shithole. Chicago is a shithole. Detroit is a shithole. Now, not all of them are ran by black people, but they are ran by Democrats. In fact, according to the data, since y'all love the data, and I got this from Newsweek, who pulled the source, pulled the data. So these are there was a list of 30 cities, but I pulled the top 10. I pulled the top 10 most violent cities in the United States, 2025. Rockford, Illinois, Democrat. Beaumont, Texas, Democrat. Akron, Ohio, Democrat. Detroit, Michigan, Democrat. Springfield, Ohio, Democrat. Peoria, Illinois, Democrat. Little Rock, Arkansas, Democrat. Toledo, Idaho, Democrat. Cleveland, Ohio, Democrat. Memphis, Tennessee, Democrat. And I told y'all a million times about my experience in Memphis and how I never felt so white. I felt like, I'm like, oh my God, is this what white people feel like when they look at me walking through the Target parking lot, minding my business? And they start clutching purses or putting their hand over their back pocket to protect their wallets. Is this what they feel like? Because I was like, whoa, this ain't black. This is beyond nigga. This ain't even black or nigga. This is the next level. It was that bad, y'all. It was that bad. I'll probably never go back to Memphis on purpose. Unless I know I'm going to the very, good part, which I'm sure exists, but I didn't have time to find it. But the part that I saw was like crazy, bro. There's police everywhere. There are cameras everywhere. It's just like how you come into a space and you just get this unrest in your body, like this feeling of unrest, like you have to stay alert. That's how I felt. I just felt like I have to stay alert. And don't let them catch you slipping. Don't let them catch you slipping. And that's what I did. But Memphis was that, and the fact that it came in number 1 in 2025, and I was just there late last year. Yeah. That's about right. That's about right. But let's finish this babbling.
All of these cities. Thirdly, they're all headed by black mayors. Now, what does that say? What does that picture paint?
It paints that y'all are incompetent. I already went over this. It does not. This is not a reflection of the president or his administration. This is a reflection of y'all. When you're violent and degenerate and low IQ, and you're trying to run these complex major cities, this is a very intricate job that requires a very specific talent. But y'all have managed to put your race and or your gender and or who you choose to sleep with ahead of the job. So instead of taking accountability and saying, yeah, the numbers are bad and we're working on it. We're doing our best. And we will work with the president however he sees fit to protect the citizens of my city. But no, nobody wants to do that because nobody wants to humble themselves because it's Donald Trump. The numbers are not going down. These cities are savage places filled with broken people doing bad ish. And the only way it's going to get better is if you get somebody in there that got the balls. I don't give a damn if it's male, female, Democrat, Republican, black, white, Hispanic. I don't give a damn what they are. You just need somebody with balls. Secondly, the Democrat Party has to stop propping up these tokens. Stop propping up these incompetent people that you can control. Because that's all of these people. Most of them. Not all, but most. Incompetent people who got a job based on their attributes and not their skill set. You manage to convince people emotionally to support you, to vote for you, to put you in office, only to let them down time after time. And God forbid a black Republican steps up and says, hey, I would like, if you give me a chance to do this job, I will do it in excellence if you give me the chance. But you won't even give them the chance. So that's on y'all. Y'all keep voting for the same thing. Y'all keep voting for madness, chaos, despair, degradation, more government, more taxes. Y'all keep voting for this stuff. But, you know, I'm just AJ. Meanwhile, yeah, we're done with her. We're done with her. Meanwhile, a man in Chicago was shot and robbed of a chain while live streaming in his car yesterday. He was 42-year-old Kevin Watson, known as Tug. He was shot in the chest by an unknown assailant during a live stream in his car. The suspect stole his chain before fleeing. Watson was transported to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hmm.
The parking lot. Who the fuck is you talking to? You feel me? Like, who the fuck is you talking to for real, even talking like that? Like, that be the shit, and that's what make a motherfucker be wanting to get into it with y'all, because y'all ain't got no respect. What's up, bro? What's up? Hell no.
Jeez.
They calling them now, bro. I got money. I got money. I got money, man. What pressure on me? Are you good? What pressure on me? What pressure on me? What pressure?
Wow. I don't even have words. Just wow. Rest in peace, Mr. Watson. Could you imagine you work, you buy yourself a nice piece of jewelry, and you're sitting in your car. You're not even, he wasn't even walking down the street or was on public transportation or anything. He was sitting in his car when the animal clocked the chain and decided to rob him. And literally before he got shot, he said, "Take the chain," which in me means spare my life. I could get another chain. I can't get another me. This is the debauchery we're talking about. This is an isolated incident. No, no, no. This happens every damn day in these major cities. I'm from New York City. I can't tell you how many chains I've seen snatched. I can't tell you as a junior high school student how many people I've seen coming out of the train station with art supplies getting robbed for their art supplies, getting mugged for their shoes, jackets. America has a Democrat mayor problem. And the only reason why I slapped black on this is because y'all are the ones screaming racism. You should be screaming for your massa to set you free to legislate how you see fit. That's what you should be screaming about. You should be screaming that you don't have the talent to do this job and you should have never accepted the nomination. That's what you should be saying to your constituents. Not, oh, it's Donald Trump's problem. It's Donald Trump. He's racist. Because if you gave a damn about the people you claim you love, you would do your best to protect them, especially when you step in a leadership position where you can actually affect and adapt change to the community. And you don't do it. And you cycle in, you do your time as mayor so you can move on to your next political advancement. So you can move on to the next title. We lost serving the people decades ago. A lot of these people don't serve the people. They're serving their careers. And you see Kamala say very often, she'll say very often, I'm a public servant. Are you? Are you? Because if you were really a public servant, you would have known where your skill set was strongest and best, right? Not as vice president. You were a terrible vice president, and you would have been an even worse president. Your skill set probably would have worked better on the law side. But no, you got to be in front of the camera. You got to be the first this and the first that, and da, 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 da. Another failure who just happened to be black. So, to the mayors of Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Baltimore, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Dallas, St. Louis, Oakland, New Orleans, Philadelphia, grow a pair. Grow a pair and do the right thing for your constituents. Stop blaming Donald Trump for a failure that is at your feet, for a failure you caused, for a failure that nobody else can take accountability for except you. This is a you problem. It's not a them problem. It's not a it's not a White House problem. It's not a Trump administration problem. It's not a Supreme Court problem. It's not a congressional problem. It's not a Senate. It's none of these people. You. But a lot of y'all are corrupt, don't care. If you stand there and say racism, sexism, phobia, this, that, da, 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 people will listen to that before they listen to the actual problem. They will believe you touting around statistics before they accept the reality around them. And the reality around them is that life is not good. It's not good. A lot of these cities are not doing well. It ain't working. And it would be nice if a lot of these cities, if not all, gave Republicans and or black Republicans and or Republicans of color or whatever the hell the phrase is this week an actual opportunity to lead. An opportunity to lead your cities into actual prosperity. I can promise you right now, if the track record of Chicago's mayors was Republicans, Chicago would not be almost bankrupt right now. That's a fact. That's an actual fact. But these are the same mayors and the same leaders from the same party that want to cry about putting limits on social programs. These are the same leaders who advocate for illegal immigrants to set up shop in their cities when the constituents never had a say in whether they could stay there or not. They never voted on any amendments or any measures or any addendums. The people never got to vote that they could be a saint. They never got to say, hey, we want to be a sanctuary city. Never got that opportunity. Why? Because you chose for them or some past mayor chose for them. And now that we see that this was a terrible idea, a lot of y'all want to hold on. And New York is on the cusp of electing probably the worst disaster in its history. I don't know, y'all. Y'all gonna have to figure it out. But these leaders, nah, these leaders ain't gonna work. Now, one more thing before I roll up out of here. So the mayor, so yesterday there was a whole press conference in LA, and then as they were proceeding along with the press conference, that was the governor and the mayor and other political figures in the LA scene. ICE decided to start picking up some folks, and let's just say it didn't go over too well, but take a look.
What the fuck is wrong with you? People working! Go arrest fucking criminals! What the fuck are you doing? What about this type of work?
Right behind you, brother.
You guys are fucking cowards! All of you are fucking cowards!
Good.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Greg, Mr. Bohino from Fox 11. Can I get a quick comment?
Hey, what's going on here?
How you doing? What happened?
We're here making Los Angeles a safer place. Since we won't have politicians that'll do that, we do that ourselves. So that's what we're here today. As you can see, already making it a safer place. We're glad to be here. Not going anywhere.
And the governor's inside right there.
I don't know where he's at.
He's about 100 feet behind us. Do you have any comment from him or anything?
Again,
any message?
We're making Los Angeles and California a safer place. We're going to continue to do that, and they can take that one to the bank and cash it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now you would think, the average citizen would be out screaming for these animals to continue to stay in this country and rob resources and take black jobs. No. But this was Gavin Newsom's response.
And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents. Donald Trump, you think it's coincidental?
It was a coincidence. They didn't give a damn that you were there. They're there to do their jobs. Yes, Donald Trump choreographed staging an ICE raid right near y'all. These people swear they're like the focal point here.
Donald Trump and his minions, Tom Homan, tough guy.
A minion. He called the border czar a minion. That should be noted for when this idiot tries to run for president. You called the border czar, who's doing an amazing job, by the way, you called him a minion. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
So they decided, coincidentally or not, that this was a location to advance ICE arrests.
It was. It was. I mean, why not? We know that y'all love the illegals, so why wouldn't the illegals show up? Now, here's the ever competent mayor of Los Angeles responding to the moment.
You do not believe that this just happened to be a coincidence?
There is no way this was a coincidence. This was widely publicized that the governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face.
Does that sound like a mayor, or does that sound like your mother chastising you for like leaving your dirty drawers out? I'm just saying. God. But I actually I like this version of the video better.
Governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face. Why would you do that? That is unbelievably disrespectful. It's a provocative act. They're talking about disorder in Los Angeles, and they are the source of the disorder in Los Angeles right now. This is just completely unacceptable. This is a
That's my favorite version of events. I don't know about y'all. Look, people. LA is a shithole because of bad policy. Not because of the president. For no other reason. Y'all are the problem. Yes, y'all are the drama. Yes, y'all. I know it's hard to accept responsibility. I know responsibility is a foreign agent. It's a foreign agent. But it's time to get some competence back in these cities. Competent leaders that aren't owned and paid for and corrupt. Karen Bass, wasn't she pardoned for something? I gotta look up her history. She was pardoned for something violent and that she led in anyway. But only in America. Because she was a white man. Oh Lord, she would have been let nowhere near politics. But this is Marxism. Cause chaos and then blame someone else. Cause chaos and then act like, oops, I didn't cause this. This wasn't 20, 30 years of neglect and bad leadership. No. This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the problem. No, you're the problem. Y'all are the problem. Y'all are the problem. And until the end of time, well, at least until y'all get it right, this will continue to exacerbate. And it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. It's also unfortunate that, Donald Trump can't easily just send in the National Guard to help out the police departments in all of these other violent cities, these top 10 violent cities in the United States. But whatever. Anyway, that's our show for today. I hope you all have a blessed, blessed, blessed weekend. I will be live on the TikTok later today, and there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. But until I remember, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you can go to AJsRANTroom.com and buy something. We sell t-shirts, we sell gym bags, we sell duffel bags, we sell backpacks, we sell hoodies, we sell tank tops, some political, some not political. We sell inspirational merch. We sell all types of things there. So just go over to AJsRANTroom.com and drop an ounce of support. We'd appreciate it. And Oh yeah, and in the spirit of Dr. Umar, yo, cash at me, yo, cash at me. If you know you want to hook it up, cash at. Hold on, I want black. There we go. Cash at me, yo. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a great, 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 great weekend, and I will catch y'all on TikTok Live or some of y'all later. Peace.